Horror Podcast.
Are restricted. Under 17 requires accompanying parent or adult guardian.
Oh, you cat!
All right. This is the Heavy Door Horror Podcast. My name is Heavy Door Dan, Ganja Zombie, the original Babylon John, the radioactive one, formerly known as Claymation Caligula. Coming to you on September 2nd, 2025. Tonight we are reviewing the movie House from 1985. Let's see, again, coming to you live from Union City, California, out here in the Alameda County. On this podcast, we review and discuss horror movies from the cult and B-movie subgenres of horror, specifically focusing on trashy films from the 70s and 80s, and we may even dip into the early 90s here and there. And before we get into the movie, let's go around the padded room for our safety and introduce our irregulators. Start from the top. Eddie, what you got going on?
Not much, man. Good to be on the pod, but yeah, unfortunate that 3-day weekend we just had flew right by. Time flies when you're having fun, I guess.
Yeah, as long as you're having fun.
But yeah.
Right on, man. Right on.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eddie.
All right.
Hey, Eric.
And let's move it on.
How
over
you
to
doing, Eric?
Eric, how's it going?
Going well. Good Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Football kickoff weekend. Can't wait.
Oh yeah, man. I heard that.
Yeah.
All right, let's
And now a word from Kim Him.
Kim, what do you got, man?
Not much. I went out of town with the family for the weekend. It's a 3-day weekend, so I didn't really get a chance to watch the movie fully. But from what I've seen, I've really enjoyed it. So
How far are you into? How far are you into it?
I'm about halfway, about up to an hour now.
Okay, sounds good.
But I haven't been focusing because we've been chatting. So I'm probably gonna have to rewatch this again. It's worth the rewatch. So spoiler alert.
All right, let's head over to Louis. You got Louis? Oh, sorry. Unfortunately, Louis, from what I understand, has been abducted by aliens. Not like the aliens, like from space. Just so you know. Okay.
I mean, not the ones Trump is trying to deport.
Those
not
people,
those ones.
yeah, they're taking all those jobs that want, those jobs we want. Yeah.
Taking all the black jobs out there.
That's the word. They're the real enemy, right? Oh my God, get over it already. All right, well, let's see.
Danny for Fanny, banana for Fanny, Danny.
I'm doing good. Let's get into the pod. So again, this is 1985's House. We're going to start out with, so first of all, IMDb gives this a 6.1 out of 10 stars. That's 31,800 reviews. So a lot of people chimed in on this movie. That's a lot of reviews.
That's a lot, yeah.
That's a lot of reviews.
That's a lot of reviews.
I mean, people that
Yeah,
actually,
it's a popular movie.
yeah, I mean, people,
How many people?
32,000.
32.
Yeah, that's 32,000. 32,000 too many.
Yeah, I mean, okay, and we're gonna start slinging shit already, man. Good gravy.
And the banter begins, baby.
No,
Yeah.
that's not good.
Right on.
So again, I mean, you think about it, 32,000 people took the time to click and say something. So Rotten Tomatoes gives us a 63 over 46, so that's 63 from the critics, which is kind of ridiculous, and 46 from the audience, which says a lot about the intelligence of the viewer. And then Letterboxd is a little thing I'd like to look up. They had it was like a 3.2 out of 10, but there was literally like 35,000 people that chimed in there as well. I didn't write the exact number down, but it was roughly there. And it was the same amount of people that took the time to review it on there. So in taglines, we had Ding Dong, You're Dead, which I think is a great one. Horror has found a new home, which is, and then Enter at Your Own Risk. And then finally, you are cordially invited to spend an evening with Roger Cobb and his friends. Don't come alone.
Mhm.
So then, just real quick, in other languages, in Argentina it was La Casa del Horror. In Brazil it was A Casa do Espanto. In Bulgaria it was Kashtata. I found a way to find the actual pronunciation of these words, even if they're in foreign language. So this is fun. In Canada it was known as house. Go figure. In Hungary it was Ahaz. Denmark it was Elen Hegem. In Italy, it was Chi Sepolto en Quella Casa. And there's a bunch more here, but we'll just move on.
Give me the
You want
German
the
accent, Danny. Come on. What was it in German? That's my favorite.
Holz, das Horrorhaus. In Finland, it was Despoker Hosgranen. And, well, I mean, if you enjoy this, there's Uma Casa Alucinienta. And then also Kuka Stave I Uzaza, which is from Yugoslavia. But that's, I didn't realize there was literally like 38 different languages on here. So let's get into the movie. So House, 1985. Basically, we get into, so first off, we get the opening credits. There's a beautiful house, the titular house, as they would say. And as we're getting the credits, we get UV shots, these infrared shots of the house. We have a camera that comes around the front of the house. I like to call it house vision, which I need to add to our list. And then we get a scooter delivery guy outside. It's on a red scooter. And he goes to drop off the deliveries to Mrs. Hooper, I believe it is. And the door's open, so he just fucking lets himself in. Mrs. Hooper. He hears some noise upstairs, and as he's walking up the stairs, you see some sick artwork. And I thought it was pretty cool. I actually thought that the aunt's artwork was all pretty neat throughout the show, or excuse me, throughout the movie.
It was all
It's
pretty
cool.
out there, man. It was some pretty
It's
cool
fun,
artwork,
fun.
yeah.
So he's being real nosy. I mean, and he's telling her that, look, I'll collect the money next time. And so then, you know what? Get out of my house, motherfucker. Collect the money next time. But he insists on going upstairs, and he goes into Mrs. Hooper's room and finds her hanging there. Boom. So next scene, we're at which I'm assuming is Mrs. Hooper's funeral. And once where we meet William Catt, plays Roger in the movie. And he's standing next to one of his neighbors that is telling him about how his aunt was a great woman, but now my wife, she's crazy. But your aunt was a great woman, Roger.
Yeah. Said she wasn't senile, or she might have been a little off her rocker, but she wasn't crazy or senile
Yeah,
like my
exactly.
wife. Yeah.
He makes it very clear. She and his wife, mind you, is standing right there. She's standing right next to him.
Oh yeah. Bawling her eyes out too. But so she wasn't paying attention, you know. And besides, she's senile anyway.
So that's the end of the funeral scene. Next thing you know, we're at a bookstore at a book signing, and we see all the weirdos.
He's signing.
Yeah, we see.
Dude, yeah, the first lady that he signs her book. I mean, because they do extreme close-up vision in these, you know, and she was on one, man. She was crazy. I wrote down this lady's nuts.
Yeah,
and a bunch
of
freaks and
weirdos
geeks.
in line at the bookstore. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they're all they look like the class of Newcomb High. You know, basically, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
there were some preppy kids, a bunch of punk rockers, you know, and then just some random your randos.
I guess they just wanted to like stereotype everybody, like,
This is
oh,
his
this
crowd.
is extremely,
These are the
yeah.
Well, and this is where we find. I mean, this is only 5 minutes into the movie or whatever, but we find out our main star Roger is an author, and he's the one doing the book signing. So, and these people love his shit. They love it.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's
they're
almost like a
jazzed
Stephen
about it.
King-ish character, you know.
In a way,
yeah. So yeah, the weirdos in line, whatever. I don't think we missed much there. Next thing, he's outside walking down the street with his publisher, and his publisher's arguing back and forth with him. Something about your last book, which he refers to as Blood Dance. You know, whatever did really well, but they need to. The readers want something new, whatever. It's just kind of a publisher harassing a writer kind of situation.
Yeah, he's pretty much telling him, listen, this last book you wrote came out 5 years ago, let's just say, and we can't keep just resting on its laurels, you know. So you need to write, get back in the
Yeah.
lab and write something new, so we can, go out on a new book
And the
tour.
fucking shitbag publisher even kind of brings in his past tragedies and kind of, like kind of touches on it, like kind
Yeah.
of gives him a hard time about it,
It's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
why don't you
yeah.
do something with that?
Write about your kid
Do
that's
something with
missing
that."
currently, Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
right.
so that's the end of that nonsense. The scene. We move on to what's his name? Roger's at home now. And he's eating. So it's a hungry man in the oven, right?
And so no, so he
Okay.
opens up his freezer.
Yeah.
It's full of TV dinners,
Yeah.
all banquet
There's
dinners
a
too.
he's a big
The top of
spender.
the line TV dinners. And he fucking grabs one, doesn't open it out of the box, throws it right into the microwave. And I don't know if you noticed, he sets the microwave for 30 minutes, for half an hour. Right? I mean, it's probably gonna burn up in there, so I thought that was
Yeah.
hilarious. I wrote down, I said he's got a lot of TV dinners, and this is how he treats his dinner. He
Sure.
just throws it into the microwave. Usually you got to peel the
Sure,
film or
yeah,
poke
right.
holes in it or
Yeah,
something.
no, it's
Nope, not for
completely
that
hands
guy.
off. All you just put it in the box. They're done. Yeah.
And 30 minutes in that
We're gonna start
motherfucker
a
in the
fucking
nuclear
fire.
device.
So,
Yeah, probably.
yeah, so he throws the hungry man in and he fires up some old ass computer. I mean, that's literally like the first computer, more or less. Um, and he calls Agent Thatcher at the FBI to find out
Yeah,
if
and
there's any new information regarding his missing child. And they're kind of like, no, they give him the
correct.
old, no, but we'll call you if there is. But if you keep calling us, we're not gonna, we're not gonna call you.
Okay. Yeah, it's the old
Yeah,
Smokey from
yeah,
Friday. I'm gonna call you, but if you call me, I ain't gonna see you.
If you
You
call me,
gotta
I'm
wait for
not
me
gonna
to call
come
you.
So that's
Yeah.
basically, the let's see, yeah, nothing new, we'll call you. And they said, yeah, we'll call you, whatever. So then we flash to, the phone rings again, I believe, and it's his super hot
Right.
ex-wife, who apparently, yeah, smoke show,
Smoke
smoking,
show. Smoke
who
show.
apparently probably one of the hottest chicks we've had on the pod. And she's
Mm.
like on the phone at some like award ceremony, because apparently we're learning, and we will learn more detail, that she's an actress on a soap opera. And she's got some kind of photo shoot or
Right.
award ceremony
Correct.
or whatever the fuck it is. And apparently she has completely gotten over her missing child, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, she was giving off vibes like, it's apparent that they are now ex lovers, whatever, whether it's a divorce or whatever, separation. But the vibes they give off in that scene is that she's really, really still, it looks like,
Yeah.
has feelings
Yeah,
for
it's
this
weird.
guy. At least
Yeah, it's weird.
that's
It's
the
weird.
vibe I got. She's really concerned about him. And he turns on his radio hella loud and is like, "Oh, the guys are over here. We're playing poker."
Yeah, he's all
straight up
pretending like,
lying to
oh
her.
yeah, and then he acts like he goes out. He
Yeah.
acts like he goes
Oh, great.
outside and turns down the music to make
Yeah.
it sound like he went to find somewhere quiet to finish the conversation. Yeah. He's doing a little acting himself.
Yeah, he's acting like he's.
So
Yeah,
then
he is.
is back at his keyboard and he nods off and he has nom flashbacks, right?
Yeah, well, he had
Is
a
that what it
nightmare
is?
of what I assumed was him as a kid playing it like in the grass or something, and then a fucking hand comes up out of the ground,
Kid next to grave,
and tries to grab him,
packs his
and then he
bag.
wakes up.
And that's when he packs his bag and says, "Fuck it, I'm out of here." For some reason, decides it's best he move into his aunt's house.
Yeah, his aunt's house
The-
where his kid disappeared, and his wife and his aunt
Yeah,
just
all the
killed
re-
herself in.
Yeah,
Like that
the
seems like a
reason
great
was all
place to
weird
move.
enough. But yeah, I mean, just to kind of catch everybody up, Roger Cobb he's the writer. His son is Jimmy, is apparently the one that they're looking for. Again, we'll learn all this going forward. And Elizabeth Hooper is the aunt. That's the house that Roger decides to move into. Is his aunt that passed away.
Yeah, Aunt Elizabeth.
Hooper. Yeah, and just that basically I think they kind of insinuate that she blames herself for the disappearance, and that's hence the hanging and all that. So we move on. So now Roger's at his aunt's house. This is on Elizabeth's house, and he meets a douchebag real estate guy, and he is is very much that stereotypical theatrical real estate guy. you know, just kind of callous, very just all about the money, doesn't care about any sort of sentimentality or anything like that, you know.
Yeah, yeah. As when he first meets him, they're walking through the house, kind of, and they walk into the dining room, and he's all, "Oh yeah, well, this is gonna go on. You know, the house, or well,
Yeah,
all this stuff's gonna go on auction next week." He's all, "We'll be
yeah,
able to get rid of some of this junk."
right.
It's
Yeah,
like, why
right.
would you call it junk? You know, this is. I just
Yeah,
thought that was
yeah.
pretty
And I mean,
ridiculous.
have
But
we even
again, you know,
discussed whether or not he wants to sell the house? I mean, technically, if they're all there, technically at that point
yeah.
it's Roger's home, right? So, you know, right?
I mean, I guess
So
if
it's
he's
just
next in
weird,
line
yeah,
as
yeah, yeah.
kin, yeah, it would be
So
his.
they're wandering around the house. They end up in the backyard, and he has a quick memory of he's working on something or whatever, and his son's there playing with the ball, and then he looks away and looks back, and the kid's gone. And he goes and looks around the house, and he
Yep.
can't find the house. He
Yeah.
sees a car speed away, and then all of a sudden he hears a noise, runs back to the backyard, and sees the kid in their swimming pool. So he jumps in the pool to
Yep.
find what he thinks Jimmy's in the pool. Looks like Jimmy's in the pool. Finds Jimmy no there.
Yeah,
Nobody in the pool. Yeah,
nobody in the
memory
pool
over.
except him.
So now Roger's back in the garage with the real estate agent. Yeah, the realtor, and
Realtor.
there he walks. All of a sudden, the realtor's holding a harpoon gun, and that's, you know, it's like one of these things
Yeah, the spare
where, like,
gun,
well,
dude.
obviously we're going to see that again in the movie at some point, right?
Yeah. Well, and the fucking spear gun goes off, and he almost fucking gets the guy in the chest. He gets our star
Because
Roger in the chest, and then he just
he
kind
says,
of chuckles,
he
laughs, and
literally
puts it
says,
down.
"Oops."
Like, oh, no big deal.
Um, yeah.
Yeah,
And in the
he almost
background, we
killed the
see
guy.
another cool painting from Aunt Elizabeth. And then there's a flashback memory. Do you catch this part of him talking to some cops, right, or something? And the aunt is telling them
Yeah,
that
he
it was
says,
the house that took the kid.
yeah,
Oh, because he's talking to the cops about the disappearance of his son.
yeah,
And
yeah, the disappearance of his son. And she says, yeah,
yeah,
quote, "It was the
yeah,
house that
yeah.
did it,"
It's the house
end
that did
quote.
it.
You know, it's the house that did it. And she smiles too after
Yeah,
she says it, like, which was
yeah.
weird, like she's in on it
It's that,
or
right.
some shit. But
Nothing
you know,
suspicious here.
yeah.
So let's see, where are we at? So it was the house, and
And then he tells the realtor, "I'm not selling the house. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to do some writing." Realtor gets pissed off and kind of fucking storms out the front yard, like, "Would
yeah, and wasn't
there to
there
win his
something
commission?"
about shut up, you
You
old
know,
lady, right? Somebody was there's something happened. There was a confrontation there I think we missed. But yeah, basically Roger experiences
mm,
a spectral vision of Elizabeth who explains that the house tricked her into killing herself. Um, so let's
right.
see. Next we're at Roger's back at his old PC. And he kind of gets up and just kind of starts wandering around the house, right? Just kind of
Yeah,
is that what it
he's
is?
got
Okay,
the
so
house
he
is starting
gets
to
up
make noises and
and
shit.
he
You
stands in
know,
front of the giant
yeah,
marlin again. It's the proverbial, like, that thing's going to do something in this movie,
yeah.
right? It was a big fish.
That was a
He
big
hears a
fish.
noise, goes upstairs, check it out. I saw that beautiful stained glass window on the staircase with the, it's a peacock. Yeah, that thing
Yeah,
was
what was
beautiful.
that?
If that was
A
real stained
peacock?
glass, that was fucking beautiful.
Yeah,
Um, dude,
I
yeah,
think it was
that
probably
was a
it's
beautiful
real
window.
house. So you know,
And so he
yeah.
sees Aunt Elizabeth. He goes up to the closet. He goes upstairs. He goes into a room and he sees Aunt Elizabeth and hangs herself. And right before she hangs herself, she says, "Leave while you can," right? More or less.
Yeah. So yeah, he
Yeah,
basically
yeah,
sees his aunt's ghost where she
yep,
died.
Yeah.
She's like, "Get out now while you can."
yep.
And he goes, "No." And then she goes to kick
And
the
she
chair out from
despairs.
underneath her,
And
and
so
she
he just goes
disappears.
to sleep. After that, he's just like, you know,
Yeah, in his like in his
yeah,
childhood, in his childhood
yeah,
bed,
yeah, yeah,
because there's
yeah,
like
yeah.
trains
Right.
on
That's
his
right. I
fucking
forgot about that.
comforter or some shit.
Yeah, the fucking
I can.
you know,
Uh,
after all that
Mm.
shit, he's like, I gotta get some fucking shut eye. Yeah, I'm tired. It's just rough.
I'm really tired. I gotta get some
So
sleep.
he
Yeah.
comes. So next morning, he wakes up, comes out of the house, and there's a
Yeah.
dog in the garbage, and all of a sudden, we see the hot neighbor Tanya run by, and yeah, yeah, yeah. So after
Woo!
moving in,
Another smoke
basically,
show.
Roger meets his neighbor Harold Gorton, who just happens to be a fan of his books and happens to have a copy of it in his back pocket, all torn to shreds.
Yeah, with no cover. It's
Yeah.
all the book binding is completely gone,
Then he
so it
asked him
all
to, he asked him for an
every page is
autograph or
loose.
whatever, right?
You know. And this is where we get one of our best lines.
Yeah, so
and
Norm's
several lines in the
when
movie
he walks
coming
out,
up.
every time I see him, I go Norm, and then
Yeah, Norm, because
and
it's
then he's
George
talking
Wendt.
trash. So what does he say?
George Wendt from Cheers. So he says, quote,
Talks about the
let's
aunt.
see. The last, he's like, oh, so glad to see a new neighbor. The last lady that lived here was a bit nuts. Biggest bitch under the sun. Just an old senile hag. Wouldn't have been surprised if someone wouldn't be surprised if someone offed her. And he laughs. And then Roger says that was my aunt in rebuttal to his statement. And like without skipping a beat, he goes, oh, heart of gold, really. Such a beautiful woman for her age. Just completely flipped the script.
Oh man,
Yeah.
That was awesome.
and
I
so he's
love that.
basically immediately trying to
Yeah.
make
It was
plans with
pretty great.
Roger, and he says, "You're an A's fan." He says, "A's fan, right?" Yeah.
Yeah, so they're supposed to be because they say later when he calls or George Wendt,
Harold. Yeah.
and the character's name in the movie Harold, his neighbor,
Oh,
says
okay.
yeah they live in
Okay.
Marin County.
Wouldn't it be
Apparently, that's where they're
Giants
supposed to
fans?
take place.
Oh,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
well, A's or Giants, they were both
could
here.
be either one.
So he basically explains,
Area.
so Roger basically explains that like I came here for some solitude, and he's and then Norm's
Yep.
like, I got you, man, I get it, man, but he offered, asked for the autograph, but he doesn't have a pen, and he's like, I don't think his autograph's gonna happen today, Norm. And he goes, I'm gonna head back inside for some solitude. And doesn't he say something? Is this the part where he says there's nothing like some solitude with nobody around or something? I don't know. We'll get to it. He says something that's kind of stupid, but you
Something
notice
like
right
that, yeah.
before Roger walks away, he's wearing super V-neck sweater. Did you ever?
Oh,
That's
isn't that later?
Oh.
Yeah, isn't that? I think that's
That
later.
shit was like
yeah.
that
With
shit was
the-
like
with
all
the-
the way
I thought
down
it
to
was-
like his
Yeah.
I thought
stomach,
it was
wasn't
down
it?
the seam.
Yeah.
The V-neck? Yeah, that was weird.
It's a little bit later because after he meets Norm, he goes back into the house, or after he meets Harold, he goes back into his house, and then
Yeah.
he's writing his
So
book,
then
and that's where we
he's
have our
back
first
upstairs writing a
flashback
book,
to
and
Vietnam.
we meet
Yeah,
in his flashback, he's with his guys in Nam in the jungle, and we meet one of the guys in his crew, his battalion, whatever they call it, Ben. And Ben turns out to be Richard Mole, who is AKA Bull
Yeah, Ben.
from Night Court. Yeah. Yeah,
correct.
big old dude.
Yeah, tall
And they're also
motherfucker.
Yeah.
Big Ben,
Yeah,
of course. Yeah.
he is referred to
And,
as Big Ben
and we're all
in the
sitting
movie.
there. They're all
Big
standing
Ben,
there
yeah.
as like the sergeants explaining their orders to them or whatever. And I noticed right before the scene cut, I noticed that William Cat Roger had a giant busted ass cigarette in his mouth, and I immediately typed that. And then the next scene, he's asking Bull for a
Yeah.
cigarette. He's asking Big Ben for a cigarette. Yeah. So Ben gives him a box of cigarettes.
Ben.
And a snake. He freaks out. Box is up in the air. And something about it.
because
Yeah.
Ben had put a snake
somebody
inside the
tells him to
box, and
knock
when he
the
opens
shit
it up,
off,
there's a
his
fucking
stupid
live
big
snake.
ox or whatever. And you can tell immediately Ben doesn't like people fucking with him. It's very clear. You know what I mean? He just doesn't like that very much.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he's carrying the big machine gun.
So
for the
then,
platoon,
out of
too.
nowhere,
He's got
a
himself
grenade
like an
lands,
M60.
and
some
everybody
shit.
freaks out, and then there's a firefight. And the firefight just kind of ends, right? There's just a big firefight, and they kind of run off.
Yeah, it kind of
Scenes,
just
yeah.
and it kind of just it just ends. Scene ends, and they
As many
flash,
times as I've
and
seen
now
this
we're
in
back in
past,
the
I wanna say
present,
there's things
back at
cut
the
out of
house.
it. Not much, but I think. Yeah. But so now we're back in the house, and at some
Could be.
point, Roger sees the reflection of a kid in the window. I'm assuming it's Jimmy, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was this. I mean, yeah, it goes, Jimmy,
Yeah.
is that you? And,
Yes,
and
so
the
he
kid's
goes
all
on this
laughing and
adventure
shit,
where he's
and
walking
then
around the
disappears.
house and he just keeps going through doors and then through another door. There's like a door behind every door. And he's going for this last door, and for some reason he's apprehensive. and he shakes his head. He's like, I'm going fucking crazy. And he heads back. And he makes it halfway across the house, right? And then he decides, fuck that. I'm going back to check, right? To open that door, right? So,
Yep. That was the door.
yeah,
That was the
haunts and
closet
feelings.
door in the room
So,
that his aunt had
so
killed
he
herself
goes
in.
back
Yeah.
to check
That
the
was her
door.
bedroom or whatever.
And this is when the clock rings, starts tolling, the bell starts tolling on the clock. It's midnight. Yeah. And basically
at
a
midnight.
monster,
Yeah, at
this
midnight.
big fucking
Ding.
nasty looking monster jumps out. It kind of looks like one of the monsters from that jumped out of the closet in Poltergeist. It's very similar. Yeah, it's pretty dope looking.
Yeah, it was
It's
pretty substantial. Yeah.
some serious. Yeah, it was pretty. It's all gray.
It
and
had some
somber, so
serious
it's pretty
claws on
badass.
his motherfucker too.
Yeah, and he.
Yeah, I
So
wrote down after that
he
happened.
takes
I
off
said,
running,
"Fuck
just
this
leaves, right?
house. I would be leaving."
He does.
No, not at all.
Oh no.
I think he
Oh
beds down
no!
for
I'm
the
saying
night
he
again.
runs, but then he goes. He
You know?
leaves the room with the closet and goes to take a nap or whatever. Right? Yeah. But then we smash cut
Oh
to
yeah.
a row
Well,
of cameras
yeah. But I mean, for fuck's
in the
sake.
morning.
Yeah. Well, so we smash cut to a truck pulling up, and I was like, "Oh, good. He's gonna sell all the house and get the fuck out of here."
Yeah.
Nope. He's buying the best surveillance equipment money
See,
can
I
buy. Or what cameras and VCRs and
I
shit.
don't think I saw
Yeah,
the truck
and
pull up
smash
in my
cut to
version.
the room upstairs. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it was in mine. Yeah, and this guy unloads all this, electronic gear, and then then they cut to him upstairs in the bedroom. He's cleared everything out, and he's got all these cameras and VCRs and video cameras pointed at the closet door. And now he's in
he's got
his
helmet
Vietnam Army fatigues
100%.
as well, helmet,
And
goggles,
so
the whole schmeal.
Cameras everywhere. So basically, what he's going to do is he's going to test it by putting a rope around the doorknob, and then he's going to run all the cameras and then pull the door, and take pictures and video, whatever, of what he saw the night before. He rounds out the house. So all of a sudden,
He opens up the closet. Yeah, he opens up the closet door and nothing happens.
And he runs
it's not
out of
midnight, and of
and he
course
runs
they're
out
not
of the
going to have a
house and
reveal
runs
that
into
early
Norm.
in the movie. But yeah, because I thought that was hilarious when he runs out of the house. Norm is with his dog on his lawn, and his dog presumably was probably taking a shit or something on his neighbor's lawn. It's like, yeah, use the neighbor's lawn. Which
they go back inside.
Be a good neighbor, huh?
See anything. And then all of a sudden he sees the clock. The clock starts ticking, or excuse me, tolling again. And he runs upstairs. He kind of puts it all together, runs upstairs.
Right.
And he tells Norm, he's got to go, whatever. And Norm says to him, "All right, buddy, whatever. Solitude is always better with someone else around, but whatever." And he takes off running, right? And he said, talking. Yeah, I missed a part here. He runs back upstairs when the clock is tolling at this point, and he leaves. He leaves. He brings Harold.
Yeah, because he brings Norm inside the house, or I mean Harold. Yeah, the neighbor. Yeah, because Harold also he lifts his as our star Roger is kind of ushering him out the front door. He lifts his address book, like his phone book. He lifts it from the coffee table and steals it from his neighbor, which I thought was pretty funny.
Right. So he invites Norm in, and they're basically sitting around eating, talking about they're talking ghosts, right? Basically, talking about ghosts over dinner. And then at some point, Norm says, your aunt was kind of Looney Tunes, so yeah. Basically, he kind of starts talking to Norm in a weird way that kind of freaks him out, makes him uncomfortable. And Norm's like, "All right, I'm just going to kind of take off, Roger." And he leaves. And I think he does the whole thing on purpose to kind of fuck with him to get him out of his house. So then Norm's basically calling Roger's wife. All right. Yeah. Yep. And her number is 954
Yeah, because
1473.
he gets her number from the
They
phone
didn't
book
even
that
use
he
the
listed.
555, which I thought was wild.
Yeah,
So
there you go.
right, that was wild. You don't see a lot of that in movies.
Yeah. No, that was like I
Is that
think
what it
that's
is?
these you know
80?
those were before they had those numbers.
Maybe.
Yeah, in the 80s they didn't have
So
555,
started using it.
and then I think I think towards like the
Yeah,
end of
yeah,
the 80s,
5300.
then
Yeah,
they
sure,
were like,
sure.
oh, people will be calling Jenny at 867.
Oh
So
yeah.
where are we
And they're
going
like, we can't
here?
have this, you know?
So then the wife calls Roger,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I don't know, does the call get through? Because at this point he's writing about Vietnam again, and they're all in. It is an answer, yeah. And so he's writing again, and they're all
Yeah, she
basically
calls. She
about
calls,
to
but he doesn't
take
pick
on
up.
the Viet
Yeah.
Cong, but they want to stop and get high real quick, and they're all acting goofy, smoking weed in the jungle while the Viet Cong's running around. So Roger and Bull basically get picked to take point because at one point the sergeant tells so and so he's got to take point, and the guy chickens out, so he basically puts it on Roger and Bull, and they have to take point. So they head out, and Roger hears something, and Bull's acting like a jackass, talking about yoo-hoo, Charlie, and fucking basically just trying to get them killed. Um,
Well, isn't that what you did in Vietnam?
yeah,
I mean, you just
yeah, yeah,
kind of
yeah.
woohoo,
So
Hello, where you at,
So,
Charlie? Where
basically,
you at?
Bull's basically getting him
Isn't that,
set up to get
isn't that what
killed.
every soldier
And
did?
all of a sudden, he's back in his office and he is crying. Wakes up crying. Or I don't know if he wakes up crying, but he's doing whatever typing he's typing. It makes him upset. And he's crying as we see him. And he sees a toy car on the floor or something, right? It rolls out. Yeah,
Yeah, well,
yeah.
it fucking it's like an RC car and it
Just
rolls
fucking
out.
with him. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
there's nobody else in the house. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so so we see
the
a
house
toy
again
car,
is
and
fucking
then
with him
the
big time.
basically the
This
fish on the
house is
wall just
haunted.
starts coming to life and just shaking uncontrollably, like that.
Yeah. Well, he starts noticing that the first glance we
Yeah,
see that we get,
yeah,
that fish is becoming alive
and then it just
is
starts
the eye
going so
starts following him,
like
the
a
fish
big.
eye.
Yeah,
Starts
yeah.
following,
You're waiting
and
for
then
it
it
to go.
totally goes
Take me
berserker,
to
like
the
Big
river,
Mouth,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
like Big
or
Mouth
like
Bass.
don't
Yeah.
worry, be happy, right? And
To the
fucking so
river.
things fucking going nuts. So Roger takes off out of the room and heads down into heads into the garage and grabs a shotgun and some shells. Yeah, into the shed, right? Yeah, so he gets shotgun and shells, and then all of a sudden
Yeah, into the shed where he
he
almost
hears
got
some
speared
wild
by the
noises or
realtor.
whatever, and he
Yeah.
turns around,
Yeah.
and basically all the garden tools, all the tools in the shed are hovering. Yeah, yeah, off the
Yeah,
wall,
hedge
and basically
trimmers,
they all the
axes, and
sharp
shit.
end of each one
I'll
of them
start
turns into
levitating
his
off the
direction,
wall.
and starts chasing him. Um, yeah, and he doesn't he slam the door behind him, and they boom hit the door,
Yeah,
right?
they mean
Yeah,
business.
yeah.
They mean business.
So he busts in through the
Oh
front of
yeah,
the
they
house,
go
or
straight.
busts
Yeah,
in
I
through the
mean
back of the house.
they
However,
go
he's back in the
through
house,
the
and all
wood
of a
of the
sudden his
door.
wife Sandy's downstairs in the foyer, right by the front door, right? And he's holding the gun, looking fucking crazy. Um, basically, Sandy slowly, she's like trying to talk him down, and then slowly, what is the exchange here? All I know is that she immediately turns into a ghoul, right? Like this weird, like ghoulish goblin thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wrote Sandy
she
shows
turns into
up.
this
I
fucked
wrote
up.
Sandy shows up, and then period.
Yeah,
Nope,
just like a
she's a
ghoul is
monster.
all I can explain. Just a
So she
nasty ass looking funky
straight up
bitch,
turns
right?
into a monster.
So just like this disgusting witch-like
Yeah,
creature or
yeah.
whatever. Um, and Roger fills her full of fucking lead and blows her ass fucking through the front door. Yeah, yeah, mm-hmm.
Yeah, he buckshotted that bitch.
Puts her through the
Boom, with
front
the double
door.
barrel shotgun. Yeah, he got her
Yeah,
good. He got her good, and then
she
when
lands on the
she
porch, and
tumbles
all of a
out the
sudden
front
she's back
door,
to
bam!
Sandy.
It turns
Yep,
her
and
back into
fucking
Sandy, and you're like,
Roger
oh
realizes
shit.
dead. Yeah, she is dead.
You know?
And Roger realizes
And
you know, what he's done,
Dead
or he
Sandy.
realizes
Dead
that
Sandy.
something's fucked up here. I think I just did something horrible, you know, because he's confused, and the house is fucking with him. And I think yeah, I think the house is really
Oh yeah,
starting to.
I wrote
He's
down.
starting to
Guess the
see
house
what's
tricked
going
him
on. It's
again.
kind of.
You know.
So one thing, so we hear cops coming, right? And basically he decides to, oh no, and then also we see, isn't this the point where we see Norm call the cops? Yeah, Harold calls the cops. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so his
Right.
neighbor
Yeah.
Harold, who is Norm from Cheers. Yeah,
So
here's the
yeah, so then
gunshot,
he,
and he
again,
goes, "I
Roger's
think
on the
someone's
patio,
trying to commit
realizes what he's
suicide
done,
over
looking
there."
down at Sandy's body.
Get cops over here
Here's the
now.
cops
Yeah.
coming and decides to snatch her up, pick her up off the patio and run her inside to hide her. The first thing I said was, "There's no blood anywhere." I don't know if anybody noticed that. Yeah, there's no blood. There's no. Yeah, there's no.
No,
There's
there
no
was
blood
none. I
anywhere.
mean, yeah, she didn't leak at
So yeah,
all. You know,
Roger
not from
hides
those two.
Sandy's
Yeah,
body.
none on the front porch, nowhere.
Again, no blood on the porch. And then the cops show up, tell him to put the gun down, and they're talking about how we're gonna have to give you a citation. So he says, "Yeah, you know, the cops are telling him that they heard a gunshot." And he's like, "Well, yeah, I was cleaning my shotgun and it accidentally went off, but you know, that's all. Like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about." And they're like, "We're gonna have to give you a citation, right?"
Yeah.
Um, sorry, yeah. Sure.
Yep, they sure did. They said,
So,
don't you know it's
Roger,
illegal to disarm
basically
a
one of the
firearm
cops
in the
recognizes
town
Roger.
limits? We're gonna have to give you a
And that
citation.
I know that black cop from some other movie. I can't figure it out. He's been in a few movies. Um, we'll get that later. Yeah. With Eddie Solo.
I'm sure maybe we'll get
Crackhead
that on
guy.
our
Um,
breakdown with Eddie.
so let's see. And then the cop all of a sudden asks him if he could use his bathroom, and he says no. Yes, right. That was fucking kind of weird. Yeah. Yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah,
And
he
so
was pretty
Norm's
nervous. He
kind of
was
just
pretty nervous. He
standing
didn't know how to
there, and
react when
you know,
he's
he's basically
no.
like, "No, get the
Oh,
fuck
of
out of here,"
course you
right? He
can.
basically
Yeah.
tells him, yeah,
He's the nosy neighbor,
and I don't
and
have the
there's plenty of
sample on
movies where
here,
there's a
but
nosy neighbor,
basically
and
here he
he
says,
completely
hold
fits
on, is
that
it?
that
Yeah, it's on
script
it.
in
He
this.
says, "Get the fuck out of my face." But, so I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
I don't remember
So
asking
let's
you a
see. So
goddamn
basically,
thing.
Roger's just like,
I don't
the
remember
cops come
asking
in.
you
One
a
of them uses the
goddamn
bathroom,
thing.
almost finds the door where Sandy's body's hidden. Roger shows them the right way. Next thing you know, they're all at the kitchen table, and somehow Norm made it into the house, right? Or is he just with the cops? Yeah, he did, right? Yeah. Even after they told him to get fucked, he basically still ended up in the house.
Oh, he sure
They're
did.
having
That nosy
coffee,
neighbor
and
was right
Roger's acting
there.
very
Yep.
weird. He's shaking. It's very obvious something's going on. And then at
Yep.
some point, he leans down. He sees the shotgun shells under the table. And he goes to grab them, and then all of a sudden, Norm steps in, snatches them up, says, "Oh, I got him," and puts the shells on the table, and goes to hand the shells to Roger, and the cop's like, "I'll take those." And so Roger tries to explain whatever, I forgot what it was. So anyway, we are wandering around. Oh, he runs back into the black cop, and he's looking at the artwork, right? And the cop's like, "Cool art," or whatever, right? And at some point he goes, "Oh, thanks," and then he looks and he goes, "My gun is gone."
Yeah.
Isn't it? Doesn't he audibilize it or something like that?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because so the cop using the restroom just kind
yeah.
of
And
leaned the shotgun up against the corner of a wall. You see, and
but
then now it's
but
missing.
Roger actually
So one can
says,
only assume. One can only
"My gun is
assume
gone," or something.
that maybe a monster grabbed it or something. Oh yeah, and they're like, "What is that?"
Yeah,
And then he's like, "Oh no, it's not," because then the cops are like, "What do you mean it's
yeah.
gone? Like there's nobody else in the house." And he's trying to play it. He doesn't. He's got his dead ex-wife that he thinks
So
is
and
hidden in a
basically that's what he
closet
does. He
underneath the
gets him out
fucking
of the house.
steps.
Cops leave.
So he's trying to get him out of the house
And
as
next
quickly
thing you
as
know,
possible.
so basically he gets the cops and Norm out of his fucking house, and he has to deal with the thing in the garage. And so he yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I wrote down like he's kind of on the hunt, you know,
Yeah, so he goes
and
back to the fireplace
goes
poker,
back to
opens
the
the door,
closet
there's nothing
door
there.
and to see what
And then he
happens
hears
when he opens
a
it
door
up this
closing
time.
upstairs. And he heads upstairs, and at some point, I
Yep.
think he sees the ghoul bitch kind of sneak through one of the doors as it closes behind her. Right.
Kinda, and he goes in there and he's looking at again. This is where his aunt, committed suicide. And you see the
Yeah,
shot of
right.
his face, and behind him is the
Yeah,
monster that
right.
his ex-wife turned into that he had thought he'd
Yep,
shot.
hits him with the head.
And
Yep.
it's
Sneaks up
behind him
behind
with the
Roger.
shotgun and fucking hits him with
And
the
right
butt of the
before,
weapon
and she
and
says something
fucking
like, "You'll
nails him
never
with it.
find
Yeah.
your son," in this weird, fucked up voice, right? That voice was very unsettling, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I,
Like a
I wrote down he
psychopathic
sounded
fucking
like
chipmunk. Yeah.
the monster sounded like
And
one of the
she goes, "You'll
chipmunks,
never
either
find your
Alvin, Simon, or
son." And
Theodore.
she pulls the trigger, and no shows,
Yeah.
right? Nothing
Yep.
happens.
Yep.
And so Roger jumps up and tries to get away from her, and remembers that
Yeah, the gun was empty.
the tools that were chasing around the house or whatever are behind this door, right? Yeah, right.
Yeah, like he had locked
The
him in
ghoul
the
bit.
bathroom
Yeah,
door or
ghoul bit.
something. So he runs out and opens that, and then bam, they all fly right into the fucking
And cut to a
ghoul
song,
monster,
"You're
whatever,
no
or the
good, you're no
chipmunk.
good,
I
you're no
guess we could
good,
call it the large
baby, you're
chipmunk.
no good." There was. Hey, you know what? We should take a quick break here.
Welcome back to the Heavy Door Horror Podcast.
And we're back. All right. Let's get back in the house. So, where were we? Yeah, so basically he blows away the tools from the shed are let out of the door, and they basically impale the ghoul bitch, and she's dead. And we cut to the song "You're No Good." Did anybody look up who that is? Eddie, if you have it, you can save it for later. If not, we can look it up some other time.
Mm-mm.
I do know, you know who does a killer version of that song? Van Halen.
Yeah,
I
you're
had a
no
hard
good.
time paying attention in this damn fucking movie, and I'm pretty good about paying attention.
Van Halen does a fucking amazing cover of that song. But so basically he's out there burying the body. I mean, buries the head first, and then the body.
Yeah, and it's now daytime, and he's out in his
Yeah.
backyard digging holes.
Yeah.
And he's trash bagged the head up and the torso
Yeah.
and whatnot.
And it just so the head goes in first, and then the body goes in second, and then all of a sudden we find out that the super hot neighbor Tanya just shows up and uses his pool whenever she wants in a tiny little blue bikini.
And man, that was a great
I mean,
scene with her coming out of the pool in that
Yes.
one-piece bikini.
Yes.
That was, or not a bikini, but bathing suit. That was fantastic.
It's amazing.
That was just fantastic.
I mean, I don't really see a problem with that.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was incredible.
I didn't see a problem with that at all.
Yeah, I would definitely never sell that house. But basically, so yeah, the hot neighbor comes out of the pool, and she's like, "What's in the bag?" And because he drops the bag on the floor, and as he's talking to her, there's like a dead hand, the ghoul hand, trying to come out of the bag.
Oh yeah, the ghoul hand started poking out after, and it has big old fucking fat ring and these long nails, and the skin's all gray and gross looking, and looked like a Halloween hand or something. But and it was trying to grab him, so he steps on it.
Yeah, he keeps stepping on it. Happens a couple times while he's trying to talk to his broad, and basically, he tells her, or she says something about, does she say, right, that he's like divorced and lonely or something?
Well, she asked, I think she asked, like, "Oh, you just moved in, you and your wife?" And he goes, "No, I have an ex-wife." And she goes, "Oh, well, that's tough, blah, blah." But it's totally giving me she's giving the fuck me vibes.
She is
to him,
giving
like,
all the signs.
You're a good looking guy.
Yes.
Big time.
Little does he know.
Little does he know, indeed.
Yeah, so she's basically, and he's trying to get rid of her, right? Kind of, right? And Tanya's flirting with him, and she says something about the play or something. We'll have fun.
Well, he's like, like she asked him if he'd like to hang out,
right?
And he says, "I would, but I'm working right now, so maybe another time." And she says, "Okay, that's fine. I'm right across the street, so but we'll play soon."
And
You know?
she walks away and shows us the most amazing ass in the history.
Oh, it was great.
The history of
Great.
heavy door horror. Top notch.
Yeah, it was a good one. Chopping Mall had a good one too. The girl running their Playboy panties. That was a good one as well.
And she says,
shout out to Chopping
as
Mall.
she's shaking her booty away, she says, "Call if you need anything."
Right.
And he continues. Oh, so then he goes and decides to start chopping up the body, and he chops up in a bunch of little pieces. And next thing we see, he's in a backyard with a bunch of little mounds everywhere, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. He spread that body out.
Yeah,
all over the backyard.
So he's basically relieved to have that done and smash cut into another song. This is dedicated to the one I love. And
she's so good was done by I mean maybe not originally, but kind of one of the famous by Linda Ronstadt.
Oh right, yeah, right, exactly, sure.
And also Van Halen covered it, and I'm sure other people have as well.
Yeah, I'm sure it's been covered a lot. So where were we at?
And then don't we smash cut to the fucking dog in his backyard with the fucking demon hand in its mouth?
Well,
it dug up the hand.
We get there's a quick montage in his house. He's just checking out the house. There's like a quick when they're playing the dedicated to the one I love. It's like a montage around the house where he's checking drawers and shit like that or whatever. And then at some point he ends up in the backyard and he's fucking the 10-yard stare face to face with this fucking dog, with the fucking human hand, the ghoul's hand in its mouth, basically.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Sit, buddy, stay, buddy," and the dog runs off.
Of course, the dog runs off.
And next thing you know, the bell rang. And the dog just left with that hand, and that's the end of that, right? It doesn't come up again.
No, it doesn't play into the movie at all.
Yeah, okay.
You know, either that dog ate it or buried it, but nobody ever found it, or they never came and asked.
Yeah, nobody wants to know about that.
So.
So yeah, dog runs off, and next thing you know, the doorbell rings, and Tanya is at the door, and she says, "Are you ready to play?" And he's like, "Huh?" And at that point, they give him some credit. He probably is not ready to play. He's not interested in any of this shit. Give him some. I mean,
no, he'd been doing a lot of things that day, not to mention dealing with a haunted house.
It's not to say that she doesn't deserve his time, but it's probably not the best time. But she said,
he's got a lot going on.
And she says, "Ready to play?" And he's like, with my son Robert and his fucking kids there.
Yeah. And this fucking like 2-year-old kid or 3-year-old kid, she's like, it never aforementioned I have a son. You know? And then proceeds to be like, "I'm gonna go out and get butt fucked, and could you please take care of my kid?" You know? And he's like, "Well," and then
here's my toddler.
Barely knows the guy. Who knows the guy? What? Met him once, twice. And then proceeds to hand all the toys and here's his bathtub toys. So please bathe my son. That you've never
I wrote down.
You've
she
never
wants
met.
to leave her kid with a strange man.
And is encouraging getting the kid naked and bathing.
Yeah, so
crazy.
Did you catch the joke that he said to the kid? He's like, "Here, you can play with a plastic bag."
And later, the kid's crying, and he goes, "Kid's crying." He's like, "How? Yeah, you want to play with this? You want to play with it? How about you play with this plastic bag, you little fucker?"
Oh man, so she basically so she brings the kid over, and the kid starts running around, right? And then they go to chase him around.
Well, I mean, he's like 2 or 3 years old, you know. I mean,
and at some point the kid runs off, and as he's running down the hallway, Roger notices a hand, the dead hand on his back of his shirt.
That's right.
So
So we do get a call back from the hand. Could be I guess maybe
hand,
it's
right?
Yeah, it could be. You're right. You're right.
So the kid runs off with the hand. The chase begins around the house, and at some point he manages to corner the kid in the bathroom, and he's crying.
Yep.
And Roger basically really doesn't know what else to do, so he bites this monster hand, and it lets go of the kid, and he spits it into the fucking toilet. The kid's crying. And at this point, as a mother, you're not freaking out that the kid ran off with a strange man in a giant house, and he's in a bathroom, and your son is screaming. So you're all good with all this, you know?
Well, Danny, it was the 1980s.
Very weird.
You know, the things about the Catholic Church had not come out yet, and I mean, it was all probably known, but it wasn't in the
It was
ether.
very weird.
So,
she just needs a babysitter, and she ain't really worried about what it costs.
She had some hot dates lined up for that evening and didn't really care who she left her son with.
Um,
I mean that's what it boiled. That's pretty much what it
yeah,
boiled
and
down
so
to.
Yeah.
so at this point, they're, he's kind of, I don't know, for whatever reason, after the hand and chasing the kid around the house, Roger decides, fuck it, just leave the kid here, whatever, just go, fucking go, man, right?
Yep.
So she basically, again, an attractive neighbor convinces him to take care of the kid, and then let's see, and then they get the hand.
And then yeah, he goes back to writing, and the kid's kind of playing in that room where he has his computer
That's
and all
where,
that shit downstairs, maybe in the study or something. And they got the TV on, and that's where we see his ex-wife, Roger's ex-wife, on TV.
yeah,
In her soap opera, like that's on the TV.
yeah, kids watching TV. And for some reason, I wrote there's a male prostitute on the soap opera. I don't know why I wrote that.
Well, yeah, like that was one of the
Is that
one of the
what-
lines. She's talking, yeah, the ex-wife is whoever her character is in this TV show drama in this soap opera. She's talking to a guy, and she's like, "Well, you never told me you were a male prostitute."
So stupid.
And he's like, "Well, that was never a problem
and
before."
and this is where the kid starts whining, and this is where he offers him the plastic bag, Eddie.
Yeah, one of the most memorable
That's
lines
a
in the
funny
movie.
shit, yeah.
How about this plastic bag? Hey, you want to play with this plastic bag, you
Yeah,
little
and then
shit?
at this point, and I watched this with Kelly, and she pointed out that that's his wife, and I didn't really pick up on that.
Yeah, on the TV. You mean on TV?
Because the first time
yeah,
they
'cause,
show his wife on a soap opera on a TV, it looks like an old ass movie. But then when they show it again later, it looks like a soap opera. So
I remember. I think I remember like he's watching something, and there was an old
like
what
just
looks
a random
appeared
old
to be an
movie.
old movie. I didn't. That's what I thought. Was that really supposed
I
to be
don't
his
know, but
ex-wife?
later on in the
same
movie, they
actress?
show her on a soap opera, and then it looks like a soap opera. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Kelly
Yeah,
was
yeah,
pretty
for sure.
convinced that that was supposed to be soap opera, his wife on soap opera.
No, that was. I wasn't. I didn't think that was supposed to be her in that movie.
Yeah.
Earlier in the
Yeah.
the movie.
And then and at some point she gets the kid to take he gets the kid gets what's the kid's name? Robert, to take a nap.
Yeah, he puts him down on the couch in front of the TV, puts a blanket on him, and goes back to typing. Well, knowing that his house is fucking haunted. There was already a monster attacked him that he killed and chopped up, but then also a monster's hand on the back of this little kid. And he pays no never mind to all these factors.
He's
Oblivious.
unfazed by all this shit,
Yeah.
dude. He's an old.
It's
very wild, yeah. So he's back at his keyboard, clacking away, and he's back in the jungle. And he's out there again.
Yep, back in Nam, baby.
And him
back
and
in
Ben
Nam.
are on point. Ben's all acting brave and dumb. And at some point, he basically, acting stupid. He gives up, their look. I don't know if he gives it up, but he doesn't make it hard for them to find him, and the Viet Cong find him and light him up. And Roger wakes up, right, from his typing or something, and the kid is gone, right? And and then we see the kid with the ghoul as they run off down the hallway, right?
Yeah, because he runs upstairs and kind of right as the kid and the ghoul is getting pulled into one of the rooms and they shut the door. He sees that the door is shutting, and we see
the kid's gone, and there's a weird, crazy, funny laugh coming from the creepy ghoul, and then he goes into the room. And it turns out it's not the creepy ghoul bitch. It's these two weird little fucking, I don't know. They're like Raggedy and Andy, nightmare-looking kids.
It was again. A lot of these movies have bad Jim Henson. They're puppets, whatever Muppets, whatever the fuck you want to call them. But
they're trying to pull him up the chimney, and Robert's screaming, "Help me, help me!" And Roger, grabs on him, and they're all hanging, fucking through the chimney, and he manages to pull Robert down to safety. And for whatever reason, the chimney goblins just disappear. They're just like, okay, and they're gone. So he basically saves the kid, and smash cut to he's giving him a bath. Okay, again, not fazed by any of this shit. And no,
didn't leave the house. Doesn't do anything.
So basically, he's giving him a bath. Next thing you know, Tiny comes out to pick up her fucking kid. And we see, doesn't he call Norm or something and tell him to come over and bring beer?
Yeah, he gets Norm to come back over, or AKA
Harold.
Harold, the next door
And he tells him
neighbor,
to bring beer.
and he wants to tell. Yeah, he tells him, remember all those cameras you saw, because Harold was pretty interested. Like, what the fuck are
Right.
you doing with all these cameras
Yeah.
set up in front of this door? God knows what. And well, I'm going to go show you. So yeah, they go upstairs to investigate the closet door in the
Yeah.
suicide room.
So basically, yeah. So they, so I thought he was suspicious of Roger, but apparently he's not. So, um, and he said something about how he saw something come out of the closet that was huge, right? And there's something the size of a raccoon. But oh no, he said he's telling Roger about how he had a friend who saw a raccoon that was the size of a Saint Bernard or something, right? Some shit.
Yeah. He's like, and
Yeah,
I got him trapped in there. But and he
yeah.
hands him the
Gives
spear
him,
gun. He's like, when I open the fucking
yeah,
door, I want you to
yeah.
nail him with the
He
spear gun.
explains the plan to Roger and gives him some goggles. We'll open the door at midnight. The clock rings. The door opens. Crazy monster fight. Shoots out of the door. Um, and
Oh yeah.
doesn't Norm try to take off a shot and he misses?
Well, no, well, yeah, but I mean, he's
Yeah,
obviously terrified
Norm's
because
all
he's
freaked.
now seeing was not a
Yeah,
it
and
wasn't a
basically
raccoon.
Roger's telling him to take the shot, take the shot. And when he finally takes a shot, he misses, and then the monster goes back into the closet and is pulling on the rope, and the rope gets caught on Roger's foot and then gets dragged into the closet, which is attached to a fishing line. And basically, Norm stands there and watches the fishing line, all 1,000 yards of it, run out and down into the hole. Yeah, and that's that.
Sure. Yep.
Um,
Yep.
so let's see. He's basically
And yeah, Roger gets pulled and pulled and pulled, and then another smash cut. We're
smash
back
cut.
in
So
Vietnam.
he finds Bull. Bull's like laying out in the field. He's been shot by the Viet Cong, and he says, "I'm dying. Kill me." And Roger can't do it. Roger just doesn't have the balls. He doesn't have the cojones for it. And Roger, here's the Viet Cong coming, and he runs off. And he's like, he leaves Bull there. He leaves Big Ben there.
Oh yeah, Big Ben
And
gets
they,
dragged off by the VC, and as he's getting dragged off,
yeah,
he goes, "You'll
and
pay
he
for this, you
basically
son
more
of
or
a
less
bitch."
curses Roger. And he says,
Yep.
I swear to it, da 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 da. So let's
Yep.
see.
I'll get you
So
for this.
basically Roger comes back through the door as the Viet Congers. Oh, so basically, yeah, so he ended up in the jungle, all that shit goes down, and the Viet Cong see him, start chasing him. He's running through the jungle, sees the door somehow, jumps back through the door as they're shooting at
Right. Right. Yeah. He sees the light of a door
him.
and jumps from the jungle
That
back
yeah, into
into
that room,
the
yeah.
house, basically. That
Yeah. And
portal
there's
door
Norm
opens,
sleeping.
basically. Oh.
Um,
Yeah, with a
yeah.
with a fucking half
Sleeping
bottle
at
of Jack
JD,
Daniels
man,
on his
yeah.
chest.
And then so at some point he's in the shed and he's looking at one of the old paintings from his from Aunt Elizabeth, and he pulls a rag off the corner and sees a child in a window, right? That was just covered all this time.
Yeah, it was the medicine
Yeah.
cabinet
Yes.
mirror
Right.
in the
And you
bathroom that he
see
had been, it and it was his
is
son.
his
I
son
mean, it
Jimmy
was a likeness to his son, and
in the
he's
mirror.
trapped
Yeah,
in the mirror, kind
So
of,
next thing you know, Roger's
Yeah.
in the bathroom. He breaks the mirror, and immediately some tentacles come out and fucking wrap around his head.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he finds a
yeah, and
doorway
that
to another
and
dimension, and then and he's looking around and he does a little bit of investigating, and then he kind of looks in, and yeah, like I described it, the first tentacle that came out kind of looked like
yeah,
the
yeah. Oh
tail
yeah.
of an alien
Should we?
from the
Yep.
movie and TV show
It's
Aliens,
funny you should say that
Aliens,
because I was
and
going to
yeah,
say that the
yep.
arm that comes out looks exactly like the creature from the Black Lagoon's arm.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny you should mention that because
Okay.
I was like, that's the only person who owns that arm is the creature from the Black Lagoon. So yeah, so he grabs a straight razor and starts cutting at the tentacles and da da da, and they all fuck off and go back into the closet or back into the mirror. And he hears a kid screaming inside the mirror. So he's assuming it's Jimmy, his son. He gets a rope and he ties it to the toilet and ties it around his neck, grabs his shotgun, and he goes spelunking. and he's spelunking through the pitch darkness. He's spelunking
Oh
through
yeah.
complete and utter darkness. And out of nowhere, the skeleton bird from Iron Maiden's fucking 1987's whatever just comes out of the darkness and tries to attack him. It's just a big bone skull vulture looking thing. And then he fights it off, and then it comes back and takes his shotgun, and then it just starts swinging the shotgun around like it's fucking goddamn, like it's the Wild West. He's literally spinning a shotgun around his fucking arm and taking pot shots at Roger. And there's a bunch of real cool.
Yeah, and then the flying monster shoots his rope, his repelling rope, and
there's a lot of weird, cool music going on at that time. Yeah.
And there was some spooky, computer, almost like 8-bit, like Nintendo 8-bit kind of Atari music.
And shit. It sounded ill. Yeah, it was really neat. Yeah. So he falls after the Iron Maiden bird shoots the fucking rope and falls and into a pool. And so you think he's in the pool, when he comes out of the pool, he's actually in a swamp, and he comes out of the swamp and he sees a kid in a cage. Is it his kid? And the kid looks rough. I don't know if you noticed that, but they did some good makeup on this kid. That kid looks bad. That kid looks like.
Well, he had been locked up for a couple of years now, right? I mean,
seriously. So the kid's in the cage, and there's gunfire off in the distance. Grabs the kid and takes him back into the swamp, into the pool, and into the swamp water, and they come out in the pool, joy, and now the swelling music's taking place, and it's,
Well, but prior to that, before he had jumped back into the swamp saving his son, we hear a machine gun, and this is where, I guess I myself started to put two and two together, that his Vietnam buddy, Big Ben, was the one that had cursed him, is the one doing all the haunting, because we do see, the kid says he's coming back soon. We got to get out of here. Yeah.
Yeah. So they wake up. I mean, they come out of the pool and joy. Everybody's happy, and it could be the end of the movie right at this point. Wouldn't be the worst. Yeah.
Yeah, they were happy for a moment.
They managed to escape. Let's see. Explain it. So at this point,
and then they go back into the house.
Yeah. So what could go wrong?
And there's a knock at the door.
Yeah. And he goes straight.
And then we get an awesome reveal of this giant skeleton monster holding an M60.
And Big Ben looks
who is Big Ben?
He looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I mean, it was it was straight up. It reminded me of Army of Darkness.
It's very impressive. So basically, he tells he demands that Roger kill himself in order to save his son Jimmy. Basically, is what the deal is. And he basically he's challenging Roger to fight him or whatever, and Roger won't fight him, right? So he basically he's on the outside. And by the way, this whole time he's on the outside of the doors or whatever, right? Talking back and forth, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he busts through a panel of the door, and he's like, "Hey, you piece of shit! You fucking left Vietnam. They tortured me for a week."
Here's Johnny.
He busts through the hole, and I just lost my place. Hold on, give me a second.
Yeah, and then I wrote down in my notes, it's showdown time, and basically. There's a grandiose fight about
Roger runs upstairs. Ben follows.
Kind of that.
Roger goes out the door. Ben goes to shoot him and realizes he's out of ammo, and then he says something about that in the afterlife. I ran into some comment about running out of ammo.
Yeah, some shit. Yeah, he's like, it was kind of comical. He's like, God damn it, I ran out of ammo. Yeah,
it was a comedic roof, and he manages
part
to
of that.
sneak over to the other side of the roof, back into the house. And when he comes in, Ben's right there. Like this is just a waste of time. Ben's right there. So he throws that hoe down the stairs, and Roger goes. So he goes flying down the stairs. He goes to get Roger. Roger starts fighting back, and at some point, he pulls off his arm, and he just like Roger gets pissed, right? This is
So
enough.
Roger
Yeah.
has now finally, decided to fight back against Big Ben. And yeah, his arm, he pulls his arm off at like his elbow
Yeah, and he
and then
starts
looks
beating
at
him
it
with
and is
his
like,
own
"Oh, I
arm.
bet you I can beat him with it."
Yeah, it starts
And starts swinging the arm at him. And then, but then our assailant, Big Ben,
it just pushes it right back
grabs
on.
it
Yeah,
back from
no
him
problem.
and reattaches his arm, of course. And it like Terminator
and then so
assimilates
Roger goes
back onto his
running, and he
body.
goes back through these double doors, and the doors swing open, and all of a sudden, his house is on the side of a cliff.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah. He
he's
was
literally
100 feet
he
up in the air from the
literally
water of the
slips
Pacific
and
Ocean.
barely
Yeah.
grabs on, and is hanging there as Big Ben shows up to finish him off, stepping on his feet, and trying to get him, basically telling him, you're fucked. Stepping on Roger's hands, and Roger's like, I wonder what MacGyver would do in this instance, right? So he basically
I got
manages
some
to get
serious
his
MacGyver
belt
vibes there.
off and swing it up and hook it on to Big Ben, and basically pulls him and yanks him off the side of the house and into the pit, or into the
No, right. He goes right off the side of the
hits the
cliff,
rocks.
and it's pretty cool to see him hit the rocks. That was, I mean,
but it
they
looked
obviously
pretty wild,
they threw a dummy down there, but it was pretty cool.
So
It was pretty
hits
cool.
Big Ben to his
Yeah.
death, and he's back upstairs with Jimmy. So he gets back inside. He's heading up to grab Jimmy or whatever, and all of a sudden, Big Ben is back again. And he's got
Of course,
Jimbo. He's got
of course,
Jimmy
he doesn't
there.
die that easy.
And Roger goes at him, and he's about to kill.
Yeah, and Big Ben is going to slit his fucking throat. He's got his big old K-bar knife out. Yeah.
And Roger goes to reach in, and Big Ben reaches out and cuts off his hand. But does he? No. Realizes his hand is still there. Then this is when he's like, wait, this is all fake. Right? None of this is really happening yet. So, yes.
Yeah. You can't hurt me. You can't hurt either one of us. I can't remember what movie I'm trying to think of. I mean, it's something like, this isn't real, or if you believe it's not real, it's not real. It's like some kids movie, some Disney movie from the 80s,
it's like,
or some shit where they kind of pulled the same bullshit. Yeah. If you don't believe it, then it's not true.
So, and then at some point, they're basically talking shit, and Roger grabs a grenade off of Ben's belt and shoves it into his rib cage, fleeing with Jimmy as Ben explodes, and setting a fire that basically burns down the house, or starts burning down the house. And that's pretty much the climactic ending. Basically, Big Ben realizes that Roger doesn't believe his bullshit anymore, and Roger snatches the grenade off of him, shoves it in his vest, takes Jimmy to get out of the house. Big Ben, boom. Done, and done.
Yep.
And we
and we get our last shot of the house from outside of smash cut of first we see George Wendt, his neighbor Harold, outside seeing the house going up in flames, and then the front doors fly open, and there's Roger with the kid. So
the kid they come out of the house, right?
shows
and
up.
then we look back and we see for a second the house burning, and then smash cut to yellow cab. It's literally just a yellow cab. Ex-wife is home.
Yep.
And the house is on fire.
And the kid's there. Her son, who she hasn't seen, and I can't remember if they actually give you a timeline of how many, months, years this child was missing. But apparently it was some kind of significant time, and now they're all reunited. And I wrote
more
ending,
swelling,
and there was happy music.
The kid actually.
Yeah.
And the kid actually says, "Mommy," right?
Go ahead, Danny. And then he runs to mom, and she's hugging him. And the last shot of the movie is Harold standing on the front step. And he should have given an old thumbs up, as he's smiling, he's cheesing, and it was kind of like the end of a Dukes of Hazzard episode where they still on some, or fucking some show from the 70s or 80s
And
where
he's
they freeze on the camera freezes on the star or whoever.
It was
And
like
it's just like
it was like the end
everything's
of episode of
okay.
Simon and Simon or some shit. And basically, there's William Cat at the end with this cheesy look on his face and just freeze frame. Yeah, it was fucking awesome. And then the song "You're No Good"
and
comes on
credits.
again at the end, which is totally I can listen to it anytime.
Yeah,
And the only thing I'd like to add is I would like for them to explain all this shit to the cops.
Well, you're not going to get that, pal. Maybe in House 2, but probably not.
That was the review of
probably not the sequel either.
House. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break because that took a little while. But we'll be right back with our 2-minute warning.
You're listening to the Heavy Door Horror Podcast. You're welcome.
I'm important. I have something to say.
Don't be a coward, son. Speak your mind.
Was she a great big fat person?
So why does your opinion matter more than my opinion?
Get your shit together, Daddy.
Oh, good for you!
All right, we're going to get into it with the 2-minute warning, which is now down to 90 seconds. Let's go ahead and start at the top. Let me just make sure I got this thing turned on and all right. All right, let's start with Eddie. You got 90 seconds on the clock. Go.
All right. My quick summary of the movie. Roger's bitch-ass aunt's house is haunted by demons as he has Vietnam War flashbacks while trying to write a memoir about it. I didn't find this movie scary at all. I thought it was pretty fucking boring. Comedy horror done wrong. I don't know what in the family-friendly admission PG-13 movie did you fucking pick, Eric? This thing fucking blew my mind in boredom. People enjoyed this enough for them to make 3 more sequels. Like, I'm like, who the fuck likes this shit?
Holy
I don't.
See, Eddie, maybe you're the problem.
Tired ass haunted house story. Speaking of, that maybe you fall asleep twice in the middle of all of it. And then no one died except for 2 monsters in the movie. Like, no humans died, and it's a monster movie. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, the gore was unrealistic. The war scenes were too comedic. I didn't care for the film style. I was really disappointed to find it was produced by New World Pictures. Straight snoozer. I know what movie I'm going to put on if I'm having a hard time going to bed, man. That's my piece.
All right.
Thank you, Eddie.
All right, let's move it over to
This is Eric.
let's see what Eric has to say. I'm gonna hold on, let me get you on the clock there. Hold on. You're up. Good.
Yeah, my pick. I had never seen the movie. It's not the worst horror movie I've ever seen. It's definitely not the best by many furlongs. There, it wasn't great. Dude was. I mean, first sight of this fucking horror, of this haunted house bullshit, I would have been out of this fucking house, and I would have burnt it down, and then leveled it, and never seen it again. But I mean, I have to admit, I kind of enjoyed some of the comedy aspects of it, the way it was. I mean, it was super light, and no doubt. You hit that on every point, Eddie. But it was stupid and dumb, and the right way for me. I loved George Wendt's character, the neighbor. Yeah. He was great. He had some fucking great lines, and so I'll probably never watch it again, but I'm glad I got to see it, I guess. Yeah. So that's pretty much all I got to say about that.
All right, let's move it on over.
Now, Kim Hem, what do you have to say for yourself?
Kim, talk to me.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I didn't watch the full movie. I'm trying to watch it now. I was kind of busy this weekend, but from what I saw, I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was comedic. Comedy is my favorite genre of movies, so Yeah, I thought it was great. It wasn't scary, the least bit. It was just lighthearted and funny. It wasn't too serious. Um, and it's a good time kill, I guess I could say that. I'm like watching it right now without any volume. Um, and I don't know. I can't analyze it too much because I didn't really see the whole movie. But this is my kind of movie, so I enjoyed it a lot. Um, it had some great actors. I thought it wasn't too serious. Um, which is fun things in my book.
All right.
This is the kind of things that I like.
So basically, what you're saying is, okay. No.
I think basically what he's saying, Danny, what he's saying is he's more of a Harry Met Sally type of guy. Maybe what is it? Yeah, Sleepless in Seattle is like his jam.
That is
well, that's more of a rom-com. I like
how
comedy.
dare you statement I've never heard of, man. Jesus Christ.
I mean, maybe he's a Titanic guy.
Geez,
I don't know. I'm not sure.
All right.
I like Titanic.
All right. So here, let me give my 90 seconds. Honestly, this is another one of those movies that I have a soft spot in my heart for. I mean, this is what I was 12 years old when this came out or something like that. I fucking loved it then. I love it now. I have to admit, I wasn't thrilled to have to watch it again because I've seen this movie. Like, honestly, I probably didn't need to take notes for this. Like, I've seen this movie a lot. It used to, like, back when Showtime would show like 3 movies over and over again throughout the day. Like, when this hit, like, Showtime or HBO, I probably watched this movie like 15, 25 times, literally. So, it's got a soft spot in my heart. I remember even as a 12-year-old, I mean, I guess that's not that young, but like when the chick showed up with her kid, I remember being like, oh, hell no. Even at 12, I was like, that's not a thing. Fuck you, get out of my house. But overall, I enjoyed the movie. It was fun. I liked watching with Kelly. And I don't know. It's again, it's a very safe pick, and I know Eric doesn't really know the horror movie genre the way some people do. Because I don't know that Kim is that hardcore into it as I am. I know Louis is pretty hardcore into it. And then Eddie, I don't know. I mean, you do. You seem to know a lot. I mean, Eddie, you kind of know a lot about a lot of things. So, yeah. But that's my 90 seconds. Whatever. Take it for what it is. Oh, timer going off. All right. Pardon me. All right. Well, that was the 2-minute warning.
Right on time.
That was a 2-minute warning, 90-second warning. Maybe we'll even shoot for a minute next week. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with
Eddie
in Kim's corner.
I got a few whatever, points that
I have a couple.
Well, we'll do like
whatever you guys don't mention. I'll fill
we'll
in
do some kind of
the
round
gap.
robin. But we'll start out with the well, let's take a quick break.
Now for
Eddie.
with facts, figures, and trivia. In this segment, The Breakdown.
Y'all ready for this?
All right, so let's just want to remind everybody that tuned in to hear Louis. He's not going to be on the episode tonight. So if you tuned in specifically to hear Louis, he's not on the episode, but just keep listening. Eddie, we're going to go ahead and hand it over to you. And go ahead.
All right, everybody. We got Eric's week pick, House. Released December 6, 1985. 91 minutes long. Directed by Steve Miner. Story by Fred Decker. Produced by Sean Cunningham with New World Pictures, Sean Cunningham Films, and Manley Productions. Budget was $3 million, equates to $9 million of today's money. Box office, $22.1 million in 1985, equating to $63.3 million. So, they more than doubled their money, So let's get to the cast. This is going to be a long one, but I will make it as brief as possible. Starring William Catt as Roger Cobb. We have George Wendt as Harold Gorton. Harold. Kay Lentz as Sandy Sinclair. We got Eric Silver as Jimmy, the little boy. We got Richard Mall as Big Ben. We have Mary Stavin as Tanya. We have Aunt Elizabeth as, Susan French as Aunt Elizabeth. Michael Ensign as Chet Parker. We have James Calvert as Grocery Boy. Mindy Sterling as the woman in the bookstore. Billy Peck as the priest. We have Felix Silla as Little Critter. We have Elizabeth Barrington as another Little Critter. We have Dino Andrada as another Little Critter, and he was also the one that did Little Critter voices. We got Alan Autry as cop number 3, Stephen Williams as cop number 4. We have Stephen Nichols as Scott, Dwyer Brown as a lieutenant. We have Peter Petowski as the witch.
The witch.
We have Steve Suskind as Frank McGraw. And then last, I'm going to say, Kurt Wilmot played Skeleton Big Ben.
Skeleton?
And that's all the cast that I'm going to...
So Richard Mole didn't play the Skeleton Big Ben, huh? Okay.
No.
That's interesting. Yeah, I have a...
Fun fact.
Yeah, go ahead.
I saved the best for last, that's why.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's wild.
It seems it's kind of surprising that he didn't play the zombie.
It's funny, I'm trying to pull...
Yeah, the skeleton
Yeah, I thought he was the zombie. It wasn't him?
Apparently not.
No.
He was just his human form in the flashbacks. Our guy from Night Court. All right.
Yeah.
Bull.
Yeah, that
Bull.
guy that played the black cop, like that dude has been in a million things. He was in the Blues Brothers. He was in as recently as It. I mean, not as recently, but I mean, that was just 2017. Like you've seen, he's been in a million things. He was on Snowfall, which I did remember that.
Stephen Williams.
Yeah, he's been on he's been on TV for fucking years.
He was on 21 Jump Street.
Oh wow. Sure. Yeah, he was on Blackish, True Detective.
He was like the head cop.
Yeah, I mean it's just he's been out for a while. But
well, I've got a fun fact if we want to dive into that
if
we're ready.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So fun fact, Sean Cunningham, the
Hold on.
producer, apparently went to Hong Kong
Jim, stay focused, baby. This is key.
Pay attention. Sorry. That's go ahead, yeah.
Okay, so Sean Cunningham, the producer, apparently went to Hong Kong to see the release of this movie, and when he saw the movie poster, there was like 30 different characters, where the title would be, over where the title would be on the movie, and being that this is just a one-word, house, he asked somebody, why the hell is there so many characters? And I guess the reason is in Hong Kong, it was released as "Don't Go Into the Haunted House After Midnight." Was the name of the movie in Hong Kong or in China? In Hong Kong.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then another fun fact is our neighbor, smoke show broad, Mary Stelvin. She was a Swedish actress. She was Miss World in 1977 and also starred in Octopussy and A View to a Kill, the James Bond flicks with Roger Moore.
Wow. Yeah, I thought she looked kind of familiar.
So she was Miss World, and that's why she looked so goddamn good in that bathing suit.
It's not that wasn't. It's not an accident that she won that award.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not
So
at
you
all.
got anything else? Kim, did you bring anything?
Me? Oh, I got a couple. Let me put up. Okay, right here. The producer and the director were both key figures in the Friday the 13th series. So it was a nice, it was a nice reconnection for them.
Yeah.
That was a good one. So it's not the same, the same genre as Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. comedy
Yeah,
horror, not
definitely.
horror.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean more or less.
Let me see. Hold on. Uh, family reaction to scene. When William Katz's own son visited, said he saw the scene where Katz's character Roger is pulled into the closet. The boy was so frightened by seeing his dad in danger that he burst into tears.
Oh shit.
That was fun.
Hey, bring your son to work day.
Daddy was killed.
Yeah, I had that written down. He broke down crying.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got anything else, go ahead.
Um, yeah. So the original screenplay was written by Fred Decker, and it was supposed to be a traditional horror story with no humor, and then they for some reason got rid of him and hired Ethan Wiley, who rewrote the script with more comedic
So that's the guy.
fashion.
Ethan Wiley's the one
So
that
that
wrote
was
the movie. Yeah.
yeah, basically. We'll say word for word, but
Rewrote.
He rewrote the comedy
Yeah.
into the script.
Right.
Yeah.
It probably would have been a legitimate good horror movie, right? I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Could have been. I mean, you hit the nail on the head there, Eddie.
Yeah.
Nobody dies in this movie.
Yeah.
Nobody. I mean, which
even the zombies don't die.
No humans. Two monsters die.
Yeah. I mean, but they're nobody. They're nobody.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
wild, man.
at the end of the day.
Well, shit. Yeah, go ahead.
So the last thing I got is so you know how they have the kid in there?
Which one?
There's like child labor laws preventing kids from working certain hours. So the child actor was actually a twin. So they bypassed the child labor laws by using twins, which is actually
that was his son.
common.
The son that was trapped.
Thing. Didn't
Yeah, I
we
saw
see
that.
a movie recently that was in? That was in Nightbreed. Remember that girl Bernadette or whatever her name?
Oh, the one who looks like a dying cat
Her
that he
name
saves,
was
and then she turns into a girl
Bernadette
when
or something
he
like
brings
that.
her in the son.
She's supposed to have a twin.
Yeah. Yep. Right.
It became common practice.
Yeah.
Like around the 80s.
Full House. Yeah.
Full House.
I was gonna say the most
like a lot of
famous
shows like that.
the Mary Kate and Ashley or whatever the sister.
Yeah.
Full House.
Originally we're playing one character, and then they had
Tia and Tamara
real twins in there.
and fucking I mean, there's a a lot of times they were on the screen.
No.
Yeah, but they were
at the
playing
same
the same
time.
part, Danny.
But
They
at
were
the same
playing
time,
they were
they
playing
could take
twins.
advantage of that law by shooting certain people's film, shots and
Yeah.
tape and whatever. You get what I'm getting at.
Sure,
Right.
sure,
Well,
sure.
all right, everybody.
Sure.
So I
Yeah.
mean, if you guys want to do that until we figure out what's going on with Louis, just keep it in mind for next week. I didn't prepare anything, but I will. One thing I did want to bring up though that I think is kind of cool. Have you guys ever heard of the 1977 Japanese horror movie, House? Yeah.
It came up when I typed this in. You know that came up as well, and so I've never heard of it other than just looking at it right now.
In Japan. Also,
Also.
but I tell you what, man, that is one fucked up movie, dude. That shit is fucking crazy. I wouldn't spring that on you guys. That'd be a bit much. And I actually have the soundtrack. It's a good soundtrack. All right, man. Well,
and it's all subtitles.
I think
I would imagine.
Two more fun facts.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, sure.
Two more fun facts. So House was filmed at 329 Melrose Avenue in Monrovia. The location was known for its connection to the film Christine, as it's located a few blocks away from the house featured in Christine.
And that's Monrovia. That's in California.
Yeah.
It's like east of Pasadena, I think. So they were not in Marin County as George went, or our Norm,
Harold.
aka Harold.
He had a fucked up name. His name
They
was
lived in
Harold
Marin.
Yeah.
He looks like a Gorkman,
But all right. Yeah,
Gordon, like the fish,
Gordon,
like Gordon's fisherman.
Is that all you got? You got anything else?
Gordon. Yeah, and Eric picked a film, and there's no nudity in this film.
Well, I had never seen it. I had never seen it, so I apologize for that because I was really hoping when we saw the preview and I saw something, I was like, oh, there's gonna be tits in this. Absolutely.
Something there. That girl was pretty hot.
I mean, she was pretty hot. Yeah.
But hold on.
Well, it was still
Were you
no
guys,
nudity.
You guys were
Eddie was correct.
This was a PG-13 movie?
I don't even know.
At the time, it wasn't even PG-13. This is back when like the only ratings were like G, PG,
so it's a PG movie?
and R.
Oh.
And then non-rated before NR existed.
But this
it was
movie
just
is
considered
what,
like
rated
X.
R?
Yeah.
It was, yeah, okay.
It was rated PG.
Man.
Or no, I think it was rated. Okay. No, I think it was rated R because of I did read about that. It was rated R because of depictions of smoking and the use of the very small usage of the words fuck and shit.
Right, yeah. Had I known that, I would not have picked it, but I didn't know that.
It is rated R.
Here we are. So here we are.
All right, well, that was, hold on, you know what I think? I think Optimus Prime is, all right.
Yeah, we didn't do the breakdown.
We'll be right, we'll be right back.
Hey, dirtbag. You're listening to the Heavy Door Horror Podcast, so shut up!
All right, and we're back with the stats here for 1985's House. Again, I still need to make an intro for this. I keep forgetting. Let's go ahead and start at the top of the order. All right, Eddie, Mr. Deeds, if you could describe this movie in a word, what word would that be?
Corny. This movie was corny, as fuck.
I thought you said horny.
Yeah. Corn.
I got you. Yeah,
like corn nuts.
Like corn.
Like corn nuts.
Like the band, right? Wow.
Yeah.
So what about your favorite scene?
Okay, so you know Roger's like snoozing out at his desk and he wakes up and looks at the TV and it's like all staticky and shit, and then he's like hits it with the remote and shuts it off, and then he looks over at the window and he sees that little boy, the apparition of the little boy, and then he picks up the remote and then he hits the button and then the little boy is just like disappears.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay.
Like he just shut the boy off and then he like fades out, like you know, like when the TV shuts off.
Yeah, fuck them kids. Fuck them kids.
Yeah, he was like shut him off. He just hit it. He just hit the remote. He was like, I don't want the TV on. He's like, little boy, I don't want you on either. Click.
Okay. How about your favorite character?
My favorite character was the closet monster.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because he gets him and he fucks Roger up. He's like, Roger's sitting there going, yeah, what was in the... I think I saw something behind the door. What's behind the door? He opens the door and then the freaking thing like pulls out his big ass claw and was just like whack and fucking hits him with some shit, lets him know he's real, and Roger's sitting there like, what the fuck? Yeah.
So would you call this a B movie or not? And what would your rating be?
I'm, as much as I'd like to call it a B movie, I'm not going to call it a B movie. They made way too much money. I don't know how many people actually enjoyed this, or if they just suckered a bunch of people into going to this movie at the time because it's the 80s, and maybe people saw a trailer and thought it was sick, and then all they could do is go off word of mouth. It's not like they can, look any deeper into it in 1985. So I think either people like got duped into watching this movie. I mean, or
yeah, I mean they made a lot of fucking money.
I'm not calling it a B movie.
Yeah, no, okay. And then what would be your rating?
It's probably new. It's put on by freaking what's that? New Line Pictures?
Oh yeah, for sure. Right.
Oh, New World Pictures. I mean, fuck, man, they're owned by fucking like 20th Century Fox and
it's a big movie.
Rupert Murdoch. But before they sold off to before they were purchased by Disney.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So they were already successful for like at least like 2 decades before they got bought out.
The name is definitely
nope.
common, yeah. Yeah, okay. And then what about your rating?
Yeah. My rating, you're gonna love this. I thought last week was my lowest rating on my own movie, but nope. This one tops it, man. I'm giving it one skull. One skull. That's it. It wasn't scary. Didn't scare me nothing. I'm only giving it one skull because I like the closet monster.
Wow. Okay. That's
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
Fuck this movie.
Sorry, he's come.
Bravo, Eddie. Bravo.
Like he's,
Bravo.
all right, and then
All we wanted was your honest opinion, and I think we got it.
You know, I took that sound drop off the damn board. Maybe it needs to go back. So what about your backpack item?
My backpack item is a sleeping bag, so I could cover my ass up and go the fuck to sleep, man. Like I fell asleep twice trying to watch this film, and I'm like, man. And it wasn't like I was tired. It wasn't at the end of my day or something. Like this is like the middle of the afternoon. I just fucking tapped out, man. We need the Windows shutdown sound, because that's how I was. I was just watching it. Next thing you know, I didn't even realize I fell asleep. It was like ding, 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 ding. And then woke up and was like, oh shit, the movie's still playing. I'm like, oh, I gotta back it up 30 minutes.
Yeah, I get you.
Did the same shit another like 20 minutes. Got through 20 more minutes and did the same thing. And was like,
all right.
Grudge the last.
And then just
you know.
Yeah, no, I mean, you got to soldier through the movie. It's all part of the podcast. And then, I mean, if you don't have any, that's fine. But did you think anybody was a horrible actor in the movie? Somebody that was in the movie that didn't realize that they were being filmed?
Oh, fuck.
He does.
I was gonna
he
say
does
like.
not know they're in a movie award.
Yeah. Fuck. I had it written down somewhere, but I gotta look on my phone at the cast because I was like trying to. I didn't pay the best attention like after I fucking was like, snoozing out. It was just to me. I'm watching the thing and it was just like a bunch of weird like crosstalk. But no, I don't really have a character I can
That's
pick.
fine.
But
That's fine.
I didn't really center in on
All
that this week.
This is Eric.
Eric, what do you got for us? So if you could describe this movie in one word, how would you describe it?
I'd say house-tastic. It was house-tastic.
And that's interesting. And in your favorite scene?
My favorite scene was our girl Tanya in the pool and coming out of the pool.
Yep. Pool
By far.
Bikini. We just got it. Tanya pool bikini. You got it. Favorite character?
My favorite character was Norm. Was Harold,
Sure.
the neighbor. Yeah. He was fucking. He had some memorable lines in this movie. It was pretty. He was pretty hilarious. You know, when he first meets his new neighbor and goes on his tirade about how terrible the last lady that lived there was, and then comes to find out that it was his aunt and completely changes it up in a second. Oh, great woman. She's beautiful. Yeah, you know, for her age. I can't believe how good she looks. And also probably, not probably, definitely the most accomplished actor in this movie. I mean, Cheers ran for.
Okay.
We'll
get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. That's my opinion.
Sure, we'll get there. So then, would you call this a B movie or not a B movie? And what is your rating?
I wouldn't call it a B movie. I mean, I thought, even though it wasn't a great movie, everybody acted. The acting was on level. You know, no one seemed like they. You know, everybody knew what they were doing. It was well directed, and even though it sucked, humans died in a horror movie and all that kind of shit. I call it. Yeah, it was not a B movie.
You're gonna have a horror movie with no humans die.
Yeah, I agree, Eddie. Again, I had never seen this, but I'll follow my sword. I'll follow my sword on this one.
Right. And then what would be your rating?
Giving it a 3. 3 skulls.
Wow. Okay. 3 skulls. 3 skulls. Okay. And then for your backpack item?
My backpack would be the neighbor Harold. I'd like to carry him around, talk with him, drink with him, have a good
Sure.
time. You know, maybe eat some Chinese food, pizza,
He
whatever.
seems
You know.
he seems like
Oh yeah. He's like, you want to come over, drink beer, eat some food, and watch a ball game? Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah, that's the guy I'd like to have in my backpack.
Sure.
So there you go.
And did you have anyone?
You got to call him by first and last name, though.
Harold.
Come on, Harold Gordon.
Gortman, get it.
Gordon.
Let's go, Harold Gordon.
Gortman, get in
Here's
here.
Harold Gordon.
All right, and then did anybody strike you as not knowing they've been filmed?
I think everybody knew they were in a movie in this movie, and therefore that's why I can't call it a B movie or lower. Like last week's movie, which was terrible.
Fair enough. I agree.
But yeah, no, I think everybody had a direction, and whether they, whether it was good or not, at least knew what they were doing.
Okay. All right.
Kim, stay focused, baby. This is key.
Right. What do you got for us, Kim? What do you got for us?
Okay. My word is going to be entertaining. I thought it was just a lot of entertaining moments in there.
All right, man. I like it. So what about for your favorite scene in the movie?
My favorite scene is right next to Eric's favorite scene where the girl shows up, or the guy was digging holes and he was starting to bury body parts, and she just shows up from the pool, and he's trying to hide her, and he's like hitting the bag. That was excellent.
Yeah, for sure. And then who would be your favorite character?
I was gonna go with the Norm, but Eric picked him, so I'm gonna go with the neighbor, the girl. I liked her. She was
You can
Tanya.
Yeah, you can all make the same picks, but if you want to go with Tanya, that's not a terrible pick. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
there's really nothing
not mad
to
at
say
that.
about that.
She was Miss World in 1977, so that's not.
Oh, wow, really?
She deserves this award. Damn it.
Yeah.
All right, now would you call this a B movie or not a B movie? And what would be your rating?
Absolutely not.
B movie.
This was definitely a mainstream movie. Like you said, Showtime. It's definitely mainstream.
Right. And then what would you?
My ratings is 3.5 skull.
3.5. All right. Not bad. Okay.
Eddie looks disgruntled and disgusted.
My backpack item is going to be the Honda Elite 125 that the little grocery boy was driving. I love that thing. It's so nostalgic.
The goddamn
Those little scooters are cool, man.
Dude,
They are cool.
Yeah, I used to have a friend who had a 250.
I had a Spree.
Elite, and
I had
that
a
was
Spree.
You can take those on the freeway. 250.
Yeah.
I crashed a few of those in my day and did some donuts in Golden Gate Park on the 1 foot down and just hold the throttle.
Oh,
I had a friend that's great, really bad.
We had one too. It's a long story. And then did you see anybody in the movie that couldn't act? That you thought didn't know they were being filmed?
No. I mean, like I said, I didn't see the full movie, but I think maybe I can't think of it right now. But no, I'm gonna go with no.
Okay, that's fair enough. All right, let's move it along here. Oh no. Louis again has been abducted by aliens and will not be available for our statistics this evening. So I guess we're gonna go ahead and
Danny for Fanny, banana for Fanny, Danny.
let's see. All right, so in a word, I would call this movie classic. I'd say classic 80s, but I'll just call it classic. Again, for me, it's 1985, right in the middle, smack dab in the middle of the reason you guys are talking about, made all this money. I don't know how they managed to make all this money. It's because movies were huge at this time, and they were making good movies, but they were making a lot of bullshit. And bullshit that was very mainstream and very hard marketed. And this is one of those things. That's why I would say it's definitely a classic for just that whole kind of horror comedy niche and everything. It's in there. There's a lot of movies like this.
Mid late '80s, everybody was going to the movie
Yeah,
theaters.
it was
Geez, my mom used to take me to the movies like weekly, like every Friday and possibly Saturday night. Like we were going to the movies.
Yeah, Fridays were
Thing to do.
Fridays were huge to go to.
That was like all there was, you know. Yeah.
So
Yeah, whether you were going to sit down or go to the drive-in.
yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
As far as my favorite scene, I wanted to say the monster coming out of the closet because I thought that was pretty cool. He wasn't gay; he was just jumping in the closet. But
I like that.
but I'm going with Tom
Cruise and John
but
Travolta in the closet.
I'm just going to get it over with and go with Tanya Pull Bikini. Okay, it's just you can't argue. Favorite character. I'm going to go ahead and go with Roger, just because the way he was just going with the flow. He was like, I got to take a nap, I got to get back to my book. I got to go do this.
I gotta take a value real quick.
Like he was, all this shit's going on around him, but he didn't let it interfere with his day to day. He just kept going. He really did.
He would leave in, or he was like, I'm just going to stay and.
He was.
I gotta write my memoir.
So if anybody didn't know, like he knew, like the actor knew he was in a movie, but the character he was playing maybe didn't know he was in a haunted house. I mean, he's so oblivious to his, to what's going on around him. Like anybody would be fucking gone.
He's almost like a Leslie Nielsen kind of like dumb to the situation character. Like it's just stupid.
In a way, it's like the Naked Gun.
Stupid,
right? I still haven't watched the new one yet. I still got to have it on my list. Yeah.
So let's see real quick. It's definitely not a B movie. I mean, I knew that going in. My rating, I'll give this one like a 3.75. It's solid. It was, for me, it's a classic. Yeah. I mean, I gave Mausoleum a 4, but there were reasons why. I mean, a lot of reasons why. But yeah. So, and then my backpack item, I don't know why, but I felt like a doorstop would be helpful.
A doorstop.
Just one of those plain old rubber doorstop, And then for no acting, I don't know. I mean, I think we're all right. I think every single character, as many as they were, all did a fine job. I mean, everybody, even the kid on the scooter.
I think it was well directed. I mean, for what it is.
And the kid on the from the kid on the scooter to the cops, everybody was, really did fine. Yeah. So I think for once, that's definitely there's nothing there. Well, that's the stats for 1985's House. Now it's time for Kim Him to pick a movie. It's his turn, and the category of the week that is his turn is what is it? Folk horror. So what's going to be the movie of the week?
Folk horror. Okay, thanks to Google AI, I am going to go with Wicker Man.
Wicker Man.
That sounds funny. I knew I could have predicted that it would tell you to watch that, but that's cool because I don't know if I've ever, like, I'm very aware of the Wicker Man and everything that happens in that movie, but I don't know that I've ever actually seen it. Yeah, because there are things in that movie that are like things that come up, like colloquialisms, conversation that you may have heard, and when you watch the movie, you might be like, "Oh, that's where that comes from." Yeah. There's a lot of shit like that in this movie. Yeah, it's quoted a lot.
What year did this movie come out?
1973.
Okay, let me pull up there.
79?
73.
Oh, 73. Oh,
yeah,
boy.
and don't, even though it's pretty awesome, because that one I did watch, there's also a Nick Cage version of this movie, but don't watch that one.
Yeah, I knew there was a more recent. And, Nick Cage, let's just, I'm breaking off sidebar here. That guy needs to do some fucking horror movies. Because he loves to get.
He's got one.
I mean, he's done
No.
But he should do
one coming out like any day now that's supposed to be the shit. It's supposed to be
because he goes like when say he goes Pacino or Cage in a movie, how they just start screaming and get so he's built for shitty horror movies.
I'll send you
in this day and age.
You want to know something real quick?
Mm.
Same day, but just like 12 years earlier. It's released the same day as House.
What's that?
December 6th.
The same day as House?
Well, Wicker Man?
Just different year.
Yeah, December 6th, 73, and then House was released December 6th, 85.
Oh, well, Eddie, you should love this movie then. I mean, it's par for the course, baby.
All right, well, let's take a moment here to watch the trailer. All right, well, that was the trailer for Wicker Man, and wow, yeah, this should be interesting.
Yeah, it looked awesome. It looked like a British-Scottish crazy thing. I did love the scene in the trailer where he calls all the kids liars. That was awesome.
Yeah, you're all
dirty little liars.
Yeah, or whatever it says, yeah.
Folks.
But this should be interesting. Yeah, it looks promising. I
can see where. I can see where with the people wearing masks and stuff like that. It gets referenced all the time in other movies.
Yeah, and that trailer, it's only shows you that trailer shows you up to kind of like a middle part, from what I've heard, read, what I've seen. I saw the Nick Cage movie, but it's not exactly the same, and it was so outrageous that it's probably not really the same movie. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, it should be fun. It should be interesting. So that's the podcast for December 2nd, 2025. My name is Heavy Door Dan here at the Irregulators. We reviewed.
Who's picking next week's movie?
Yeah, so we reviewed 1985's House. For next week, if Louis comes back, it's Zombie, and if not, then it's my turn, and it'll be Zombies. And if he doesn't come back, it'll be my turn, and it'll be Zombies.
Okay.
So yeah, that should be fun because I know about tons of zombie movies, and I won't pick something that you guys have seen, I guarantee you. So that should be interesting. But we'll see. Hopefully Louis comes back. Maybe Louis just had to work. Maybe he'll work it out. I don't know. We'll find out. Hopefully the aliens bring him back when he's done with his job. And until then, let's say goodbye to the regulators, starting with Eddie. You got anything to say before we say goodbye?
No, not really. Other than everybody have a good night. Keep watching films. Keep coming in and joining us in the pod, and we'll catch you next week.
Yes, sir. All right. And Eric, you have anything to say to the folks?
Yeah, have a good night and stay scary.
All right. What about Kim Ham? What you got to say for yourself?
Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for joining.
All right. Well, again, my name is Heavy Door Dan. That was the Heavy Door Horror Podcast. And as usual, always remember that the call is probably coming from inside the house. Good night.
Everything is garbage.
The Heavy Door Horror Podcast.
Don't act like you're not impressed.